So let's get started, but we're gonna have our 24 budget hearing. So I will open the fiscal year 2024 budget hearing. Open Meeting Act. The fiscal year 2024 budget hearing notice was published in the York News Times on August 8th of 2023. The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the room by the door. The reminder, all cell phones should be silenced during the meeting. Please be aware this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This assures that your comments are recorded in their entire context. Recording becomes part of the public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute. Roll call.
Bethune,
Here.
Anthony Bohati,
Here.
Jeff Bohati,
Here.
Richard Bohati,
Here.
Dickinson,
Here.
Groves,
Here.
Uttershell,
Here.
Gainer,
Here.
Miller, Noose,
Here.
Hadi,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Peterson, Siebert,
Here.
Staley, here, Weiss,
Here.
Yates,
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, I have no consideration of director's request for Scoop's absence. So we will move on, review a fiscal year 2024 budget. And I'll let Dave speak about that.
Okay, in front of the board members, there is our typical cover sheet for the fiscal year 24 budget. There's also several of them on the table in the back if any of the public would like to look at them. There's been little changes from what you see in front of you compared to last month. One of the notable changes on the front page, you can see that the additional 1% has been taken off. So we had to adjust a little bit there. And then you can see that Nancy took Bill's suggestion to heart and has changed the house from $100,000 house to a $350,000 house. So this budget represents a 1.85% increase. For those that are following along, the valuation on the middle of the cover sheet is last year's valuation. We have not received anything for this future year's valuation, so the percent change is 0. I do anticipate that changing a little bit, but currently that's the best we can do. There's been $320,000 transfer from a sinking fund to the general fund to make this budget work. Most of that $320,000 has to do with O&M projects, or there's $321,000 for the Oxbow Trail supply well, a little bit for an entrance on Oxbow, and then like I say, the rest is O&M projects. If you go on down the page, you can see that it represents $63,449.43 or 34 cents increase over last year's. That's the 1.85%. Be happy to try and answer any questions that no, wait a minute, this is a hearing. I can't answer any questions.
So at this time, is there anyone from the board that wants to comment? Is there anyone from the public that wants to comment? If not, at this time, I will close the fiscal year 2024 budget hearing. Okay, so now we'll move on to the board meeting of the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District. Before I get started, I'm going to ask Terry to make an introduction, please.
Is it on?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, everyone, I would like to introduce Caleb Fritz. He is our new water conservation technician here at the office. He's from up at Stromsburg is where he lives right now, him and his family. So I'd like you to welcome Caleb to our staff. He's doing a great job so far, so we're looking forward.
Okay, now we'll move on with the board meeting. Open Meeting Act, the public notice has been published in the York News Times on August 10th, 2023. The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the room by the door. All cell phones should be silenced during the meeting. Please be aware, this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone button must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in their entire context. The recording becomes part of the public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute. Roll call.
Anthony Bohadi,
Yes.
Jeff Bohadi,
Yes.
Richard Bohadi.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Pottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Hattie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, here, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Here.
Yates,
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, it looks like all the directors are here, so there's no absence. Public comment. Anyone may comment on any matter that is not on this agenda. However, no board action will be taken until the following board meeting, according to Nebraska Open Meeting Act, unless the board declares an emergency. Please hold comments on any listed item until it is considered. Okay, adoption of agenda.
So move.
Dickinson had the first. Miller?
Second.
Okay. A roll call.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Pottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Hattie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next thing, approval of minutes of the July 27th, 2023 Board of Directors meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Does anybody have any corrections or anything in there? Or questions? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Gross. Pottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Hattie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now adoption of the fiscal year 2024 budget that we just had the hearing for. Would somebody like to adopt that?
Move to adopt. Second.
Richard.
Richard did. Is there any questions or comments? On the budget. Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Pottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Hattie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
I should have made this announcement before we started. I think everybody realizes that they have a mic in front of them that they do not have to share anymore. We had those installed earlier this week. So I think that we're gonna have some growing pains to remember to push the buttons. What I have done for chairmen of the three committees, it is an on-off toggle now, so you do not have to continue to press that. If your green light is on your mics, you are being recorded. One caution is that if you don't shut it off after you get done, the mics are fairly sensitive and they will hear some sidebars that occur. So once the committee report is done, please shut off your mics for the chairman. Everybody else is the push to talk, continue to push it down, have the green light, release it. Questions?
Except for Kendall's, this isn't working.
It doesn't work?
I have to keep holding it.
Okay, we'll get that fixed.
Unless there's another one, unless they got turned around or something, but no.
You want to switch Kendall while you're on the, so you don't have to hold it, mine's working.
Test.
That stays on. This one stays on, Dave.
That's fine.
Okay, so since we got the microphone announcement, we will move on to the Water and Regulations Committee report. Kendall.
Water and Regulations Committee met Tuesday, August 8th, 2023 at 7:00 PM at the NRD office. Those who participated are listed below. Committee members Jeff Bohati, Rodney Groats, John Miller, Teresa Audi, Kevin Peterson, William Staley, myself, and Lynn Yates. Other directors, staff, and guests are listed below. Action items, Item A, Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistance Program Payments. 3 Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistance Program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $2,250. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 3 well abandonments as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $2,250. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this or comments? Roll call.
Gross,
Yes.
Undershell,
Yes.
Gainer,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Carried.
Item B, certification of irrigated acres. The committee reviewed the irrigated acres certification for 13 parcels totaling a 1,050.85 acres, yielding an increase in irrigated acres of 15.83. The total irrigated acres for the district is 1,248,086.92 acres. Motion to certify the acre changes as presented to the committee. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no. I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Undershell,
Yes.
Gainer,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groats,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, regional groundwater modeling payment, Brown and Caldwell, an invoice totaling $4,234 for work performed on regional scale groundwater flow model for the Blue River Basin for work performed from March 31st through June 29th, 2023. A copy of the invoice is attached. Motion to pay Brown and Caldwell for work performed March 31st, 2023 through June 29th, 2023 in the amount of $4,234. This motion carried 8 yes, zero no. I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, Vado Zone Study Payment, University of Nebraska Lincoln. An invoice has been received for work completed on the Vado Zone Study from June 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2023, totaling $2,930.53. A copy of the invoice is attached. Motion to pay the University of Nebraska Lincoln for work completed on the Vado Zone Study totaling $2,930.53. This motion carried 7 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Second.
Questions on this? Comments? Roger.
Yeah, do we know how close we're getting to the end of this thing here? Or where we're at?
We're actually behind. So we're hoping Dawson's trying to schedule a meeting with Dr. Snow and the other researcher for September to lay out a plan to get back on track. So this would be year 3 or sampling year 3, but we're really only at about sampling year 1.5. So we need to try to get back on track this year.
Is there any other questions? John.
We do have a contract for X amount of dollars.
Yes, and we also received some water sustainability funds for the project.
So no matter how long it takes, we're only obligated for X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I think we budgeted 75,000 a year. And then the sustainability fund kicks back. This, what, 60%? Isn't it 60-40?
Any other questions or comments?
I guess I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who's pulled it back? Who held it back?
Last year, the university took their big rig and they took it in to have a bunch of work done to it and then ran into supply chain to get the rig back. So it didn't get back until late in the winter. So all we got last year collected were those that we could get with the shallow rig. So then when they got the rig back, they had a project up in the Brazil area that they needed to finish up. It was the last year of their contract. So the rig went up there.
You know, I guess I'm not gonna go there. But what we're paying them, for God's sakes, they could keep on going and keep up to date.
No, we don't disagree. Staff doesn't disagree.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, it would have been nice if it would have been done by now, but yeah,
It was supposed to be 4 years of
okay.
sampling. And so this is what we're coming up on is post-harvest would be sampling year 3. So we still have 2 sampling years left.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Miller,
No.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
No.
Dickinson,
No.
Did Richard say no?
Yes, he did say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I said it correct.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
No.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 13-4.
Item E, Chemigation Incentive Program Payments. 4 Chemigation Incentive Cost Share Assistance Program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $4,000. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 4 chemigation incentive assistance as reviewed by the committee in the amount of $4,000. Motion carried 7 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Or comments? Roll call.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
No.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 15-2.
Item F, Olson invoice nitrogen use report payment. ESA with Olson are continuing to work with staff to draft a phase 2 and 3 management area summary report. Olson has submitted an invoice totaling $6,996.83 for work completed through July 12th, 2023. Motion to pay Olson for work completed on the phase 2 and 3 management area summary report totaling $6,996.83. This motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Sorry. Completed in the amount of $14,023. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell, Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item H. Beehive license renewal, an invoice in the amount of $28,514 was received from Beehive Industries for the renewal of the NRD suit license. The renewal period is September 2023 to August 2024. The license covers maintenance, hosting, and unlimited seats to the platform. Motion to pay Beehive Industries $28,514 for the NRD suit license renewal period from September 2023 through August 2024. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this, comments? Roll call.
Peterson,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Bailey, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
yes,
Groves,
Yes.
Uttershell. Keener,
No.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 16-1.
Item I, groundwater transfer authorization, GNF Farm. ENT Preferred LLC own 128.22 acres in the southwest quarter of section 2513-4. The property is watered by well G 0500679. GNF Farm LLC would like to transfer an additional 6 acres onto southeast quarter of the northeast quarter of section 3413-4, owned by Alfred and Diane LaRue. Both tracts are in Polk County. This transfer does not fit within the groundwater transfer rules because the 2 tracts are not contiguous. The applicants have been made aware of the issue and given options to bring the request into compliance with the transfer rules. The application is attached. Motion to deny groundwater transfer T122 because it does not fit the groundwater transfer rules. Motion.
And we don't have to do any board action on that since it failed in committee or is denied, so.
Okay. Item J, four-wheeler authorization. Staff would like to replace 2 four-wheeler ATVs, the Suzuki and Arctic Cat, with 2 Honda Ranchers 4x4 before the end of the fiscal year. The Suzuki was purchased in 2006 and the Arctic Cat was purchased in 2015. Both machines are aging with loss of compression and availability of replacement parts. Motion to seek bids for 2 Honda Rancher 4x4 ATVs to replace the 2006 Suzuki and 2015 Arctic Cat. Motion carried 7 yes, 1 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Seibert,
Yes.
Bailey, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
yes,
Groves,
Yes.
Uttershell,
yes,
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
That carried 16-1.
Item K, rules enforcement update. Staff reviewed the list of producers who have never attended nitrogen certification training who currently have order of cease and desist filed against them. There are 4 orders of cease and desist which have been issued by the board. Item 2, staff reviewed a list of phase 2 and 3 producers who have failed to renew their nitrogen certification. Originally, there were 5 orders of cease and desist issued by the board. 1 has taken the test and is now in compliance. Staff requests the order of cease and desist on Kevin P. Hine to be lifted. Motion to lift the order of cease and desist on Kevin P. Hine. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no. I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call.
Bailey, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard, Dickinson,
yes,
Groves,
Yes.
Uttershell,
yes,
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
White, Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 3, staff has reviewed the list of producers who have failed to submit reports for their parcels in phase 2 and 3 areas. Staff is requesting the orders of cease and desist filed against 4 producers who have come into compliance or who are no longer farming within the phase 2 and 3 and Hastings management area reporting be lifted. There are 5 remaining orders of cease and desist desist which have been issued by the board. Motion to lift the orders of cease and desist filed against Adam Clausen, Frederick Harmon, Jordan Overturf, and Taylor Peterson for coming into compliance with their phase 2 and 3 and Hastings Management Area reports. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Questions on this? Comment? Roll call.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie, Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Bailey, yes. Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 4, staff have been conducting routine inspections on tracks with active orders of cease and desist. One violation complaint has been filed with the Sewer District Court. Alan J. Luby. On August 8, 2023, Mr. Luby did submit his phase 2 and 3 reports to the office. Motion to lift Alan J. Luby's order of cease and desist and direct the staff to proceed with prosecution on summon issued. Motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Do a
Second.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony, Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Otter Shell, Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Discussion and no action items. Well permit summary, a summary of well permits for August was presented to the committee. No new well permits were issued in August. Currently, there are 12,235 active irrigation wells. A copy is attached. Item M is Rule 5, allocation discussion. As requested by Chairman, information was provided to the committee regarding allocations, what pooling would look like for parcels and how it would be administered. Attached is a draft of a cover letter and pooling summary. These are a work in progress and there are suggestions for revision made. Item 2, irrigated to non-irrigated land use because of land use change as directed the staff. The staff provide legal with draft language to review. A copy of the email correspondence with legal is attached. Item N for Rule 4, runoff language. Julesburg brought to the attention of the committee the language in Rule 4 regarding controlling runoff is ambiguous. Legal suggested the language needs to be revised. Attached is the email correspondence with legal. K-Junction Solar discussion. There is a brief discussion on the change of ownership of the company who's in charge. Additional business, Julesburg thanked the board members for allowing him to attend the summer GMDA conference and provided a written report. That concludes our meeting.
Thank you very much, Kendall. Okay, now we'll move on to the Projects and Programs Committee report. Richard.
Okay, the Projects and Programs Committee met Thursday, August 10th at the NRD office in York. Those present, committee members, Paul Bethune, Anthony Bohati, myself, Roger Howder-Schelt, Bill Keener, Mike Nuss, Matt Perry, Paul Weiss, Lynn Yates, other directors, staff members, and guests is listed below. Action items. A, land treatment program. There were 3 new NRD land treatment applications. The committee reviewed the land treatment program funding. The Natural Resource Commission has approved the modification of NC 19 repair practices to include slip lining and cure in place pipe for addressing the need to repair dams. The NRCS will be developing guidelines and standard rates for these repair methods. The Upper Big Blue NRD currently does not include NC 19 repair practices as an approved practice for cost share. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approved payment of $7,500 for one completed NRD land treatment project as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Hattershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, action, our private dams program. Richard Bohadi's private dam has been completed. Total cost was $42,239, which resulted in an NRD 75% cost share amount of $31,679.25. The NRD also needs to refund the deposit fee of $860. Dustin Christmas Dam has been completed and Dustin is waiting for the final invoices. The committee reviewed the private dams program. On behalf of the projects committee, the motion is that the Upper Big Blue approved payment of $31,679.25, which is 75% of $42,239 for the construction of Richard Bohadi's private dam, and also to refund the deposit fee of $860 for a total payment of $32,539.25 as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. That motion carried with 7 yes and 2 abstain. And as a representative of the projects committee, I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Jeff,
Abstain.
Richard,
Abstain.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Hattershell,
Yeah.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Abstain.
Yates,
Yes.
It carried 14-3.
City of York Letter of Map Revision. JEO continues development on the City of York's Letter of Map Revision, which approval lessen the effects of the 100-year floodplain in York. The NRD has an interlocal agreement with the City of York in which the NRD agrees to pay 50% of the cost for the process not to exceed $21,000. If approved, the total provided by the NRD as of June 30th, 2023 would be $16,845. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment to the City of York of $631.25 for work completed from June 3rd, 2023 through June 30th, 2023 as recommended by staff, reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes and 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Hattershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Wise,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Oxbow Trail Recreation Area Domestic Well Update and Payment Request. Peepers Incorporated has completed the installation of the domestic well, water line hydrant, and drain line at Oxbow Trail Recreation Area. Remaining work includes installing a concrete pad around the hydrant, which will be completed by others. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $22,613 to Peepers Incorporated for work completed on the domestic well, water line, hydrant, and drain line at Oxbow Trail Recreation Area as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Warning sirens request to solicit quotes for electrical hookups. Blue Valley Public Safety will be installing the poles and sirens at the 4 recreation areas, Pioneer Trails, Recharge Lake, Smith Creek, and Oxbow Trail. On August 8th, Jeff Edgington of BVPS and staff visited the sites and finalized the pole siren locations. The NRD will hire a local electrician to run power to the poles. Staff has been working on the required permitting that is needed for the siren installations. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD solicit quotes from local electrical contractors for the electrical hookups of the sirens as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Yes. Teresa.
Who's Blue Valley Public Safety? Is that an organization or a business or?
Yeah, they're a company and they carry these federal signal sirens that all the county guys wanted. I think they're located down by Kansas City. So with the quote they provided or that we approved, that includes them installing everything. And then this trip, they came up to locate the sites and I think they'll come back to test the sirens once our electrician is done.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune. Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Smith Creek Playground request to get quote from Creative Sites. Staff would like to begin the process of getting a quote from Creative Sites to install the same type of playground equipment that was installed at Recharge Lake. There is a 10-week time frame for order to be delivered, and installation would take place late fall, depending on the weather, or early spring. Discussion included getting other bids for playground equipment. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD solicit quotes from Creative Sites and others for playground equipment at Smith Creek Recreation Area as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions? Comments? Yes, Roger. Oh, there was the bad rubber or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing I got from the people that supply the rubber, kind of like they're not gonna do anything more. I said, this is the only 2 they've ever had. And the state that paid for part of that rubber mulch had contacted me and I told him what was going on and we didn't tell him the first time because they're gonna replace it. We thought it would be right. And he was gonna do some more checking to see if he'd ever seen that before. So if they don't give us anything, we're gonna take it out and probably purchase wood chips, to put in there.
I was gonna recommend it, just one of some wood chips and forget about it. So,
We haven't done anything yet.
I know. But our staff will come in and scoop them all out and we'll probably throw the rubber away because you can't put it anywhere with that steel fibers.
Any other questions? Paul?
Otter Shell,
yes.
Keener. Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Honey,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Bailey, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Recharge silting basin study, request to issue RFP. In an effort to lessen the amount of silt entering Recharge Lake, staff would like to issue requests for proposals for a silting basin study for Recharge Lake. Funding for this study was included in the fiscal year 2024 budget. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD issue a request for proposals for a study to reduce the silt load above Recharge Lake as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuce,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Staley, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yeah.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Smith Creek Channel Clearing request to solicit quotes. The downstream channel of Smith Creek has a buildup of material that has altered the channel flow downstream of the dam. Staff will have this channel surveyed to determine how much material needs to remove from the channel. Staff will then develop specifications to have this material removed. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD solicit quotes for clearing out the downstream channel at Smith Creek from the spillway to the A Street Road culvert as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. Motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Jack?
I kind of got an update. I was down there last week to take a look at that. And the road 448, the one goes by Smith Creek, north and south, was closed. I drove it from the north and I drove down. It's closed on the south end of our property, just past our property. And Seward County was there digging up the culvert that goes underneath that road. That's right where we think a lot of the sediment was coming from, the county road culvert. And no one was there, but I talked to the Seward County Road Superintendent. And he told me that culvert was completely plugged. That's why the road overtopped, or the ditch on the west side of the road had overtopped and a lot of stuff got washed down. And I kind of told him we were going to look at that channel. So he was going to go down there and look at it on his own. So there might be a chance that Seward County will clear that out. But I'll keep you updated if I'm not going to go get quotes till we hear back from that, but
So who's gonna survey it? Is the
Well-
NRD gonna take?
he's
Take
gonna walk
readings?
down, look at, he hadn't
Oh,
been down
okay.
all the way to A Street Road, so they'll take a look at it, let me know what they find.
Okay.
I had contacted the Seward County surveyor about doing that. We might have to, with the GPS surveying, he said it'd probably be better if the leaves were off the trees anyway. Otherwise, we might have to do it the old fashioned way. And so I kind of got that on hold too, till I hear back from Seward County.
Okay,
So
yes, John.
So you're suggesting we hold up on this motion?
no, I would suggest you proceed with the motion, but I won't get that by next meeting or something. I'll probably come back to you and tell you the results of the Seward County, what they found out. I guess we could wait a month, but I'm not gonna go out and get quotes or get it surveyed till Seward County determines what they can do, because they've got a lot of equipment down there. You almost get the impression if it's not too bad, they'll just go down and clear it out. So, and it isn't actually on our property anyway, it's downstream of our property.
Any other comments or questions? Yes, Doug.
I was down there today and because the road was closed and I'm going, God darn it. So I drove down there and took a look and they were working on the culvert and I saw our maintenance guy down there and I said, you know, it's bad for business to have the road closed, but it's really not to the lake. But nobody's gonna go down, you know, pull a camper down there. Or nothing.
Well, I'm sure it won't be closed very long. You wouldn't think, you know, I would think it, can't they put a culvert in a day? Okay, Bill.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the county roads superintendent said, and you can see it if you drive down, especially about where our property starts, the road ditch on the west side is very, you know, it's pretty wide ditch, but it's got one eroded ditch running in it. There's also on the shoulder of the road, there's quite a bit of erosion. The water isn't making it over the ditch. So he said they're gonna rework that ditch also, so that may help.
Second.
Oh, we had the second. Oh, okay. Okay, got a motion. You got everything you need there, Nancy? I just got. I know, I think you need. Yeah.
Okay, all right, move to send back to committee.
Okay, since it goes back to committee, there's no discussion. Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
No.
Hottie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
No.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Richard,
No.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Yates,
No.
That carried 12-5.
Okay. Action item I, Oxbow Trails Northeast Entrance Improvement. Request to solicit quotes. The northeast entrance to Oxbow Trails includes a county road culvert, a drainage culvert, and an overflow channel that catches higher runoff flows. Staff would like to install a rock crossing on the overflow channel similar to the crossing at the archery range at Recharge Lake. This will improve access to the northeast parking area and the maintenance road at Oxbow Trail. Motion at the Upper Big Blue NRD solicit quotes for improving the drainage channel crossing at the northeast axis of Oxbow Trail as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
News,
Yes.
Hottie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next action item, Upper Big Blue NRD Reverse Osmosis Pilot Program. Staff revised the original reverse osmosis pilot program write-up and incorporated some of the suggestions and changes discussed by the committee and board at previous meetings. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD adopt the Upper Big Blue NRD pilot program for point of use reverse osmosis water filtration systems as written, with changing the maximum cost share rate available of $250 to $500 as recommended by staff and reviewed by the committee. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any, Paul?
So this is homeowners. So if I'm a renter, I can do this.
I don't know how it's worded in there right off. If it distinguish between the two.
I don't think we specified that. We just said if you're hooked up to municipal water system, you're not eligible.
Eligible cooperatives, this homeowners only. This homeowners connected to private well as their sole drinking water system.
I guess if you're a renter, you'd have to talk your landlord into putting it in, I would guess. We'd have to deal with the landlord.
I don't know how that would work if it was, if the renter put it in and the renter left, if he took it with him or not. So I don't know, just, something for discussion. I have an opinion.
Don't you think most renters, they're not gonna do something in a house without, they're gonna want the owner to pay for it. So he can request to do this if he so please chooses.
You're a renter and you're concerned about it, and your landlord won't do it, it says you can do it. You should have the right to do it, get the landlord's permission.
Well, you can. You could tell as a land or a owner of the house, if a renter wants to do something, you tell him no, he can still do it and pay for it himself, I think, but. I don't think you can force an owner to put it in there, can you? As a renter, this is kind of a off topic.
This is really no different than if you apply for a new well permit, the landowner has to do it, the tenant can't. So I did it this spring and the landlord didn't have to. So I assume the landlord should probably know what's going on.
Yeah, the other issue might be if it's a duplex and both renters want to put them in, we're one per landowner or homeowner. That'd be another, it's kind of a specific issue, or somebody has a bigger apartment complex. I think they'd won't be eligible for one, but.
Yeah, there's not too many of those on private wells probably, but
I don't think you'll have very many privately owned rural, if it's with the with the water system of the city. It's not allowed.
Some small towns still do that, though. You weren't required to hook up to the town water like pool. There's duplexes down there that still have their own wells, so.
Mike. We don't have a motion, but to go ahead with a pilot program, so this would be the motion. And that was in there because in committee, it started out at 250 and, they bumped it to 500. So I think it's just in there maybe for clarification, I guess. If somebody else wants to add something, feel free.
I've got. Should too.
Yeah.
On one of the requirements here were installed by a licensed plumber. When we put my RO system in, it was bought and installed by Culligan, who I don't normally figure as a licensed plumber. Would that fit into this, or do we need some wording clarification?
Yeah, I guess if the supplier has people that put them in, I would think they'd be plumbers, but I don't have any background for saying that, but maybe.
Good point. That's, I know Culligan. I think I asked him, I don't know, in the last year, you know, if they put them in and what they cost and stuff, you know, but. And they do install them. Anybody have any? Input on that or anything? Had to guess Culligan's people were probably not licensed. That's just my guess.
Could we change the language of that to say must be installed by a dealer approved technician? Like essentially if they're selling a product, someone that they would approve to install it to work correctly?
Oh. You can
Well,
change it how you want to, if you want to make an amendment. You know,
That required licensed plumber came from the committee when we were discussing.
yeah.
I mean, somebody brought it up that we need to have a,
But I think, well. Of course, it does have to be, they have to send a sample. I don't know if we did that, so if they bought one and it sat in the garage for 2 years after we got a cost share and they never did put it in. But I don't know if that was the reason for that or not, you know, and but to make sure it got installed, I guess that's what.
yeah, we changed that a bit to say they have to do it like land treatment. So when they get all their application stuff in, we bring it to board, it gets approved. They have to call in, get authorization number when they're ready to start. Then they have to have that completed by 90 days. Don't have to complete by 90 days, their application's gone.
Oh. Okay, yeah, okay, but that would, yeah. Help.
And I think one of the reasons for going up to 500 from 250 was that we're requiring a plumber.
Yeah,
And I know somebody made a comment, you're not gonna get a plumber to come out and look for $100. I mean,
any other comments or discussion? Yes. I don't remember.
Was 8 point.
Oh. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Is there any other discussion or comment on the motion as it was presented? No.
I'm wondering about making an amendment to number 4, then the system must be installed by a licensed plumber or dealer technician.
I would second that amendment if you're making it.
Are you making an amendment
Yes, I am.
or amend the motion? Okay.
And also. Which you also have to make a change here.
Is
where it
there
talks about-
a second to that amendment?
Yes, Groves.
Yeah.
But then doesn't it also reference down here a receipt of installation from a licensed plumber? That's at 6.
And that would have to go to that too.
So what was the wording you wanted to use?
System must be installed by a licensed plumber or dealer's technician.
Okay, does everybody understand the amendment to the motion? And is there any other questions or discussion on the amendment? Roll call on the amendment now.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seibert,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Ottershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
No.
and Yates.
Yes.
Amendment carried 15-2.
You have to remember, this is a pilot program and we're probably be making some changes, you know, a year from now too, so. You know, it's just something to think about, you know, I'm sure it'll be tweaked off and on, so. Okay, so now we're back to the motion as amended. And the amendment is a licensed plumber or a dealer, installer, whatever, technician, there we go, so. Is there any questions or comments on the amended motion?
That's just added to the original motion that we had, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So let's say somebody does put one in and they come back and have it tested and it's not under 10 parts per million because the nitrate level was too high to begin with. We just don't pay it. Or when they bring our first sample, do we warn them? I mean, call a gun would surely tell them if it's gonna work or not, but I don't know if plumber would tell them that.
the way I understand it, as it reads, they probably wouldn't get paid, but speak up, Jack, you know, whoever.
Where you have it worded right. It's the way we have it worded right now. Just like if they apply and come in, bring their test in, and it's. The first test is below 10, they're not qualified. You know what I mean?
Any other? Oh, Kendall.
Well, they would have had to have had an original test, and I would hope we would at least warn them if they're in the 30 parts per million that they may not get to 10 with just a standard system. So maybe that would be handled at the beginning, not at the end.
Terry?
Yeah, once we do the test of it, we'd say that, you know, if you're going with this, you would have to, if it's over a certain percent or parts per million, we'd have to tell them that it may take 2 systems to get this down below for drinking water standard. So we would, like I said, we'd know what that parts per million is and we could inform them, you know, accordingly.
I would think when they make an application, that they would probably get these rules and regulations. And, or maybe it's even on the application, you know, too, but no, it's not, so. That they would be aware of that. I would hope. Any other questions or comments? Okay, now we're voting on the amended motion. All.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Staley, yes, Weiss,
No.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Huttershell,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
News,
No.
Addie,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 14-3 as amended.
Discussion and no action items, publication of legal notice of meeting, chairperson reported the notice of the projects. The program meeting was published in the New York News Times. Open Meetings Act, chairperson advised those in attendance that the Open Meetings Act is posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Storm damage tree program. 3 storm damage tree projects have been submitted and approved and will be considered for payment at the September's Projects and Programs Committee meeting. Staff is expecting additional applications as a result of the recent storm activity near Sutton. Village of Giltner drainage projects. In 2021, the NRD provided $4,500 of cost share assistance to the Village of Giltner for a drainage study. The study identified 4 specific areas that could help with drainage in the village. Joanne Fruit of Giltner attended the meeting. Giltner will likely begin implementation of some of these draining projects in calendar year 2024. The village is planning on applying for grant funding for these projects and will likely seek funding assistance from the NRD. This NRD assistance, if approved, will probably use fiscal year 2025 funding. Oxbow Trail Recreation Area Supply Well. Volsky Corporation is planning on starting the installation of the supply well around the first week of September. They may put in the test well within the next couple of weeks. Item P, Oberlin Trail Well and Security Light. Ernst Well Drilling has installed the well and water line. The well site need to be relocated due to spacing requirements, 200 feet from water and 60 feet from the road center line for a potable water supply. The new well site will be north of the parking area and will require additional water line and additional electrical line. The change of well site will add to the cost of the water line and the electrical line. Ernst has installed the drain line and still needs to complete the concrete slab around the drain grate at the hydrant. Dawson Electric has completed the electrical line installation and some minor work to finish the project. Staff anticipates final payment request will be submitted and considered at the September Projects and Programs Committee meeting. Langworthy Rhine Miller Dam update. Ken Morgan of the Langworthy Trust has not informed the NRD of the location of where the trust wants the removed material to be placed. NRD staff has placed slope stakes around the lake and has a surveyor install some control points so that Broken Arrow Excavating can use GPS equipment for the material removal. Staff will again contact the trust, and if they do not inform staff of the site to place the removed material, staff will instruct Broken Arrow to proceed with hauling the material to Oxbow Trail as was originally planned. Lake Hastings Water Quality Management Plan. JEO Consulting has scheduled a kickoff meeting for 10 o'clock on August 22nd in Hastings. The site for the meeting has not been determined yet. Staff is planning on attending the meeting. Hazard mitigation plan update. Staff has been working with JEO Consulting to finalize a contract for JEO to begin work on the 5-year update of the Upper Big Blue NRD multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation. Village of B interlocal agreement drainage project. B has signed and returned the interlocal agreement that outlines the assistance that will be provided by the NRD, 25% of local costs not to exceed $25,000 for the Pine Street Extension project, one of the drainage improvement projects identified in B's 2021 drainage study. B is planning on getting bids for this project soon. Additional information. The project's priority list. Staff presented the ranking of the priority list projects. Staff received 12 of 17 ranking beats. The projects committee meeting adjourned at 8:04 p.m. And that is my report.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, now we'll move on to the executive committee report, Bill.
The executive committee met at 8:05 p.m. on Thursday, August 10th, 2023 at the NRD office in York. The committee members' present were Yates, Keener, Dickinson, Staley, Bethune, Bohati, Hattershell, and Miller. Board Chairperson Yates informed those present that we published the legal notice of the committee meeting on August 1st, 2023 in the York News Times. Yates advised those present that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance to the boardroom. Item A, Nebraska Association of Resource Districts, NARD dues. An invoice dated 8/3/23 for $39,919.07 has been received from NARD for fiscal year 24 year dues. Motion to approve payment of $39,919.07 to the NARD for the fiscal year 24 dues. Motion carried, 7 yes, 0 no. Nice one.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments, Mike?
No, it's on land area.
Any other questions?
Land area, not tax base.
It said land area. That's incorrect. It's tax base. You're correct. Because like the ones out west do not pay a higher percentage than we do. Correct.
Thank you for that information. Is there any other, Roger? No.
It goes up 4% every year.
You might have started before I was born, Roger.
You're over the.
Okay. Is there any other questions or comments on the motion for dues to the NARD? Roll call.
Peterson,
Yes.
Seabird,
Yes.
Bailey, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
News,
No.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 16-1.
The no action items, the 2023 Nebraska Association of Resource Districts. The committee was updated on the process of submitting NARD legislative resolutions for the association consideration at the fall conference. Deadline for the submission to NARD is August 15th, 2023. And the committee was reminded that the delegate and alternate to NARD conferences were assigned during the January 2023 officer election. The voting delegate and alternate for the 2023 September NARD conference are Paul Bethune, voting delegate, and John Miller, alternate. The only reason changes to this selection should be made is if one were not planning on attending the fall conference. Both directors confirmed that they are planning on attending the September conference. The precision conservation management participation information was discussed. Crystal, do you have any updates on the public relations tour August 25th?
If you've RSVP'd and plan to go. Hello. If you've RSVP'd and plan to go, we look forward to seeing you there. And if you haven't yet RSVP'd and you change your mind, let me know 24 hours in advance and we can figure it out. Also, please wear your gray NRD shirts so we can look real snazzy in our photos.
Thanks. The mini classroom grant proposal, the mini classroom environmental grant program will be sponsored by the Upper Big Blue NRD, promoting environmental activities and projects in preschools and schools within the districts. These grants are offered on a first come, first served basis and have a maximum of $300 per teacher per year. The program is limited to public or private schools or homeschool cooperatives. It is not intended for FFA, 4-H, scouts, families, or other groups. As everybody knows, Jeff Ball retired and Miranda Coffey has also resigned. And you can see the financial statement attached. Upcoming events mainly are the NRD Managers Retreat and Husker Harvest Days and ARD meeting. And that concludes the meeting adjourned at 8:25, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we'll move on to the financial statement and approval of bills. I'm sure everybody gets Nancy's list of bills, don't they? And I don't know how many of you look over them. He usually sends them out. He's, I don't know, about a week and well,
Kind of depends.
yeah, by the first of the week usually, so.
Like the Tuesday
Yeah.
before the meeting for sure.
Yeah. So you can look some of that over. You got any questions? Ask. Bill, do you have one?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the bills.
Second.
There's been a motion to approve the bills. I think the financial statement may be with that. In a second. Does anybody have any questions? We'll call.
Seabird,
Yes.
Bailey, yes, Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Otter Shell,
Yes.
Keener. Miller,
Yes.
News,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, Josh.
Good evening. Quick little report here, a little bit on workload. As you guys know, we got two of the dams finished up. One, we're still waiting on bills. Talked to Ken this week, the engineer that's been working on those. He's already started on the next one on the list. So he'll start working on that. He did say, he's got a few other projects that he's mixing in with that, so it might take him a little bit longer, to do that. As far as programs go, EQIP, CSP, RCPP, and IRA, all those, have been approved, and we have all those all submitted for, obligation at this time, so we're caught up there. But we're still finishing up the CRP contracts and writing those conservation plans. One thing that we do, that's came about in the last couple of years, we're going back now before the end of our fiscal year to, there's a few practices that don't keep up with the increase in rates. And so if we've made a payment since January 1st till September 1st, if it's one of those practices that was really low and it didn't jump up in cost, or it jumped up in cost, we're making a supplemental payment on some of those. So we're going back through and finding those, which ones those were identified as increasing dramatically and making those additional payments at this time. So
I can't believe they're allowing you to do that.
they've actually done it for the last couple of years.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's some pretty strict restrictions on it. It's limited to certain practices and such that we know had a large increase, so. But it is. Some of them are fairly decent amounts, so it's worth it. Along with that, we're getting quite a few, we have our sign up periods, continuous all year round, but we are getting quite a few people coming through the door talking to us about new applications. Along with that, we are getting a few livestock grazing systems installed.
this year we've had a tremendous increase in interest in livestock watering facilities, things like that. So we're getting those designed, they're out there, just mostly waiting on contractors to get stuff put in. It's backlogged. So that's our workload. Along with being caught up on stuff a little bit, we're trying to get people to training. So as much as I can. Employee update. As many of you know, Grant was here last month. He has taken the position down in Geneva, which leaves York open here for the resource composition that has been advertised. We are currently doing interviews for that position along with the soil composition in York and Aurora. So between the end of last week and this week, we've completed those interviews. So we'll be making some selections, I hope, and see how it goes. But there is a number of positions available for them. So it's kind of fairly competitive at this point in time. Another update. We had a student trainee that was working all summer long out in Holdridge. She needs to continue throughout the school year to get her hours in before she graduates. So we've brought her on in the Seward field office. So we'll be have additional help there, but also have somebody that we will take out and provide some training to. So hopefully when she graduates at the end of next year, she wants to stay in the area and will come on partially trained already. So good. That's all I have.
A couple months ago, there was something in the news, and I probably should have wrote down some notes, but where one of the federal agencies, I don't know if it's NRCS, but they were looking into getting involved in managing water in all the states. Oh, and I should have wrote down what this proposed deal was, so I could ask you, but and if I see anything about it again.
Yeah,
I'll
let
write
me
it
know.
down.
I'm not aware of anything that
Yeah.
NRCS is involved in
Okay.
that.
Okay.
In fact, to some extent, we're stepping away from the regulatory side a little bit more, trying to with the farm bill side of it. We're still implementing it and still making HEL and wetland calls, but we're just providing that information.
Yeah, I don't think it was in discussion of the farm bill, but I think it was maybe something else, but well, if I see it again, but
Yeah,
I'll,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the Food Security Act, they're not
yeah,
gonna. So I don't. That would
Yeah.
be,
well, the idea behind it was their states weren't doing anything, so they're thinking about taking over. It didn't sound good to me, so. Anybody have any questions? for Josh. Thank you, Josh.
thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the NERD report. Oh,
Only thing I had was the annual conference in Kearney, September 25th and 26th. Otherwise, everything's been really quiet. If somebody has questions, I can try to answer.
and I take it everybody there that wanted to go to that got a hold of Nancy and got registrations in. Okay, chairman's report. I'm gonna bring this up and, dealing with these nitrates and stuff. I know we talk about it every so often, but we really don't come up with anything. Not that there's any quick solution to it. But I know we're waiting for this beta zone study. And hopefully that'll give us, so we know what's happening down there, but and it's been said, most farmers are they're doing a good job, but if they just wouldn't apply any more fertilizer than what that crop's gonna use. And the only way they're gonna know that is, is to take some more deep soil samples in the fall. But it's hard to convince very many people, but to do that, And another thing, you know, and I don't know, maybe we need to be looking at maybe creating a phase 4. But if the nitrates in three get higher. I think there might be a couple districts, I think have some rules and regs on that. But, and by doing that, you know, putting some limits, you know, on fall and pre-plant nitrogen, I don't know if that'd do any good, but, and another thing is even in our other zones or zone 1, the ones where the nitrates are starting to creep up a little bit, you know, maybe, and I know it takes a lot more staff's time, but maybe we need to be working on some of those producers too, you know, maybe with some training or I don't know, but or something, because if, you know, if they just keep slowly working up, they're going to be there someday, you know. It seems like, you know, we talk about it, but there we don't do anything. I know there's these, I think it's Lower Elkhorn. Of course, they have some different soil. I think it's in a lot of their sand, but they started working with producers one-on-one, and they're working with them field by field now, you know. I think it's the Lower Elkhorn. I don't think it's the upper. Is that right, Terry? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, okay. But I know that takes, you know, a lot more time and stuff, and my opinion, all this is my opinion, so it, and it seems like the nitrates, you know, we never, I know that needs to be, you know, a pretty high priority in this district. And I'm not saying, but I mean, the problem's ever going to be fixed, because I don't think it's going to, but sometimes you can do a lot of little things, you know, 20 years down the road, you know, they might start to add up, you know, and do some good, but I don't know, you know, I just wanted to mention it, you know, of course, it's with Rule 5, you know, I don't know if there's more we can do or should be doing, but I don't think we've done much in the past. So I mean, that's just one of my big concerns. So I guess I'm just voicing my opinion. Go ahead.
You know, the past 2 years, we've had some pretty bad hailstorms. And I know Josh has talked to us both years, and NRCS can't get a program that fast, but
Yeah,
one thing they'd like to see is after these fields get hailed out, is to get some assistance out for cover crop to
Cover crop,
use up
yeah.
that nitrogen.
yeah,
And it's very hard because it's tough to program. You can't
yeah.
call out hailstorms, but I don't know.
Because I think there's some little things out there, and that's an example, you know, the cover crops, you know, I mean, those would be a good thing, but it's very hard to get people, but to do some of those things.
And to get the turnaround of the program,
Yeah, you know,
when it hails, it's just,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think there's emergency assistance, but
Yeah.
you just can't get it out there.
If I'm hoping those fields that got hailed, and I know there was one director said something to me, you know, I mean, they need to, do some deep soil tests. And if there's fertilizer left out there, then don't be putting that on the following spring, you know, it's just, I know some of those management things, you know, but sometimes those little things, but it'll add up eventually, so. And I know there's a lot of, you know, ideas out there, and I'm not saying, you know, they'll work, but we need to keep that on the burner, you know, and try to do what we can. So I said it, I've said my piece. And there is, and then everybody has a copy of the Daniel report. Crystal made these up. She did. I glanced through it real quick, and she did a really nice job. Thank you, Crystal. They take a little time, you know, but look through that. There's a lot of good information in there, so. And get a chance, you can pass it on to the public. Roger.
One of the DNR guys was out in our office this afternoon. And it sounds like they're gonna shut off the pumping out of the river.
Oh,
In the next couple days possibly, so you might be hearing something about that. Just,
because the flows are
Flows to
dropping down at
Kansas.
Barneston and.
that was one thing. The other thing was you were talking about the Lower Elkhorn. I don't know if you've been hearing the news or anything, but they're having fun with their board right now.
Yeah.
They got board members at each other's throat, and it's in the papers and everything else, and it really is a really bad look
Yeah.
of a board that can't keep things kind of figured out in the boardroom, so.
So. I really don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up, talk about, mention? Anybody from the public? Okay. So I guess with that, Mike.
I think they're probably looking for partners to solicit funding. I don't think right now there's adequate funding out there to do any type of major dredging in Lake Hastings. But I think that this is gonna be a long-term process. I don't think you're gonna see, 2 years, 3 years. I think it's gonna be a longer time.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we're not committed to any implementation thing, just a study for right now. So, and I'm sorry, I can't remember. They did announce where it'd be and I can't remember the name of it. It's in the Hasty Utilities. I don't know. I'll sure send out a note if anybody's interested in going to that on 22nd. I know it's at 10 o'clock and they penciled in 3 hours, but they don't think it'll take that long. So.
Mike, when you say back out, do you mean back out of the study or do you mean back out of potential funding to dredge it? Well, we have not given any amount to actually dredge it. We have $7,500 towards the study, but we don't have anything towards the dredging.
Yeah, I know that first meeting they had. I don't know when it was last spring, I went to it. And it was sort of interesting, there were some people there that, they wanted things fixed tomorrow. Well, it's gonna be 5 years before they ever even think about probably dredging them, because they want to figure out, they want to stop the silt coming in, probably putting rock around the edges, buffer strips. I know, but they got a lot of things to do before they're ever probably going to get to the dredging part. It's a lot of years down the road. That's what I took out of it, Jack.
Yeah, and
Jack can say.
I think that first meeting was flooded with Lake Hastings residents, the people that own the houses.
Yeah,
Because that's what the majority of people were there. And
yeah,
I thought Tara did a great job because they kept asking her about getting started. And she said, we're 5 years out. We can't just start doing things. We have to study what we need to be doing first. So she did a very good job of handling that.
as far as the dredging, that would probably be the last thing they would ever do. That'd be the conclusion of the whole project, probably, or that's sort of the way I understood it. I guess it's no different than recharge out here. If we can stop the silt and get some better water coming into it, there's no need to cleaning it up or dredging it until we get that, corrected. Well, or help anyway. Never gonna stop it. So does anybody else have anything?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Yeah. Yeah. No, he's pretty quick too, so he wants to get out of here. I think legally we're supposed to do a vote. Or call roll, but we're not going to. All those in favor adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.